Hello, everyone. This is Zaomi Eccles-Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. Right now, we're very excited for our Fall 2025 event, which is going to take place on September 18th at the Clinton Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. And in preparation for the festival, we've been talking with some of our participating filmmakers. Today, we have Derek Garrison, who is the writer, director, and producer behind Van Damned. Derek, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
There's a lot to say about Van Damned. One, it's a feature, which is very exciting. And two, I think the biggest takeaway is it's just so hilarious and so well done. It's got a crazy, unique concept. So tell me, what inspired this film?
More than the story itself was just an opportunity. I've been pretty successful with writing and doing well in contests and having a couple things optioned, but it's tough to break into Hollywood. And so a lot of it was find a story that I could potentially shoot locally and do on a shoestring budget. And so first and foremost, it was do something that could be a calling card that's accomplishable right here in our own backyard, almost literally. And then from there, there's never a shortage of ideas or possible avenues to take a story with plot, character, dialogue. So that part was the coming up with a story pretty easy. The coming up with something that I could make here, that was the challenge.
Totally. Well, I love that approach. And it's cool because, this is not something that is special effects laden. It's not crazy action packed, but it's so compelling and it's so funny. It's so well written. And it's nice to see where you can just take a concept and make it happen. And one of the strengths with this movie is the acting. I think you have a great cast, incredible chemistry between these guys. And I want to know, what was the process like working with the actors, casting them, writing their dialogue and having them interpret it? What was that like?
Oh man, it felt great. So again, I've had some success writing, but we did a virtual table read. And we had done some of the casting a little prior. One of the leads is my son. Another lead, he had done a short film with my son. And so I knew what I had a little bit, but then to get in that virtual table read and you've got all the little squares and you're just watching people react and that they're laughing at the joke. And comedy, it's a lot about timing. And so you have that little half-second lag, but man, they were just clipping right along. So I was pretty it was affirming as a writer, just being in that table read, knowing man, they're getting it now, and we are not even in that space getting explored, do
Right.
different takes, improv. If they're already getting it, this has a lot of potential. So I was just overwhelmed with gratitude and being impressed with the cast. That casting process is tough, but that's one of the greatest surprises of Van Damned is the bench is deep here in Portland. There's some great actors right here in the Northwest, and they really brought it. And on top of as funny and talented as they are, just great on set, just a really positive vibe. Can't say enough great things about the cast and crew.
Excellent. Well, I love to hear it, man. I love to see our local talent in such a great picture like this. And one of the things that I was thinking of is just the chemistry is so nice, and it's cool to see these people embodying these multifaceted characters. For example, someone like Willow, the way that she talks to her therapist is totally different than the way she talks to Raniel, for example. Yeah. And so it's cool to see them really getting into it and really embodying these characters. Was there a lot of back and forth to sculpt these characters like you wanted? It sounds like they actually kind of had it from the get-go.
I'd say two things on that. Really intuitive, smart bunch. I was able to kind of give them some touchstones as far as hey, it's in this realm of humor. It's this. It's kind of like a jumping off point of some different things that maybe they've seen as far as tone and pacing. In some ways, what helped is this tight budget and tight timelines for shooting. It opened the door maybe for me to be a little more active on set, a little more active behind the scenes between takes on where I had wanted it to go. But man, it's a pretty instinctual bunch, and many times the first cut was that's great. We'll get a second one just to be careful or just to get some added coverage from a crew standpoint. But I think again, I couldn't have been more fortunate with who I cast and their ability to get it. We would do some fun takes here and there, but oftentimes they would go, "Ooh, can I do one more? I think I got it." And so I really appreciated the dialogue that I would have with actors. They did a great job capturing the vision quickly. And I think they enjoy playing off of one another. I would hear a lot of their conversation between one another, kind of that give and take between actors, and really finding some nuances within the scene. Some of the silliness, some of the delivery, again, just the comedic timing. They very instinctual, just a great bunch of actors.
That's awesome. Well, that's fascinating insight to hear kind of how it all comes together. And it worked out quite well. I want to ask you a little bit about your approach to the humor because it's really interesting. It's a little bit absurdist, almost gives me a little bit of like a cartoon feel because they have these asides at certain points, these totally, flashbacks or whatever. And I want to know what was kind of your influence or your approach with that?
I mean, the influences are many. I mean, I think about, and again, this isn't to compare. I'm not saying that I'm this, but I mean, there's a little bit of Wes Anderson. There's a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite. There's a little bit of Hot Fuzz. I mean,
okay, totally.
And a lot of this, I got to give credit to Nick Stout, who was the DP, but also the editor, and that's how I found Nick. Nick, I first became of his work almost as much for his touch with editing as cinematography. And so for him to be able to carry that through and for he and I to be same page without even having to check in on some things. And then in that editing process, a lot of it I knew would be when we're getting in and out of scenes. And so, and then trusting the audience that they would be along for such a silly ride, but there's some smarts to it too. I think, if you come into it kind of already liking movies and seeing movies, there's Easter eggs everywhere you turn. And so it's respecting the audience's ability for, hey, this is pretty fast paced, but if you're listening, you're going to have twice as much fun as if you're not. So it's a lot of trust in creatives and a lot of trust in an audience that they'll get it and enjoy it. And it's a fast paced film anyway. I mean, it comes in under 80 minutes, so we're moving quick. We're moving quick.
Absolutely, man. I mean, one of the first things I noticed was that the witticisms, they're so fast. There's no lull, and there are these little Easter eggs everywhere, like you said.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was the process of shooting this thing like? I mean, you've got quite an ensemble cast. There's a lot of scenes with a lot of characters in it. There's also a lot of outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, dude, it was craziness. Very, very tight schedule. A lot of flexibility, a lot of communication. Again, on a budget this small, you're counting on some flexibility from people. But some of that was strategic it's an ensemble cast, meaning I don't need to have an actor for 10 days of a 10-day shoot. I might need them for 4.
Okay.
I might need her for 3. And so some of that was finding that sweet spot of what is a cast that you can, and I mean this in a respectful way, their schedules you can wrangle without having to be so big. Like now I've got too many moving pieces. And so there was a sweet science to it. It was a cast of 14 plus me. And so you just make it work. But it's a bit of a game of Tetris of making it all work. Locations wise, a good chunk of this is literally filmed. I have some property and is literally in a backyard in the gorge, but it's a forested backyard. And so we're able to cut some corners there, but there's it's the usual guerrilla filmmaking.
Totally.
Favors and friends and local people being willing to let you be on their lawn and do some things.
Well, that's crazy, man. I mean, when it comes to independent productions like this, you have to wear so many hats and there's so many moving parts. And really, it's that pre-production and organization that'll really get you through it. Are there any takeaways, any kind of insights into the craft that you could pull out from this experience?
Casting is huge. And it feels so good when you I can think through every single scene. If somebody has one scene, she's hilarious in that scene. This guy's just got like 2 lines. He nails his 2 lines. So casting is a big deal. I don't know if there's anything that makes or breaks a film, but casting is a big deal, and I'm just beyond pleased that we were so fortunate to get that, and then having the crew acknowledge that on set of like, dude, you got something here. This is funny. So that felt, again, very fulfilling of like, that it was going to land. Just great people. Just great people to work with. Small team that made it happen, and what a fun experience it was.
Excellent, man. Well, I love to hear it because there are productions where they're like, yeah, it was a nightmare. And it sounds like this was actually really great. And sounds like people, on set really realized that there was some magic happening there.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic.
Yep.
Well, tell me, man, do you have any other projects coming up? I mean,
Always,
can't have you
always,
stop
yeah,
it, you know.
yeah. I mean, I've got some other screenplays that are in various stages of in the hands of different people out there and down south. So we'll see if any of those pop. In the meantime, this was such a good experience that I'd like to get it out onto a streamer after the festivals and see if it can land with an audience out there. I think it has the potential to. And then ideally, if that goes well enough to bring that kind of like a calling card to funding for another one. Would love to have so many of the cast and crew back for more fun.
Yeah,
If we can make it happen. But yeah, no, always developing some things. Yep, 2 horror comedies. They're ready. They're ready. So yep.
nice. Well, I mean, I think this is a great proof of concept of what you can do on tight turnaround and tight budget, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to screen this. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Van Damned?
No, hey, I mean, I appreciate anybody who can make it out to festivals and see and support. It's really important to be creating. It's kind of what keeps people human. I think is it can't just be about consumption. It's got to be about creating a little bit. This was really fun. I hope there will be people that will go and see it, and I hope that for all the films that you guys are that you're screening there, these are stories worth telling and their feelings worth feeling. And I appreciate just the idea that there are festivals and there are screens and there's this gathering of people very needed, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Man, well said. I'm happy to have your film in this. I'm very excited to screen it on September 18th at the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. I think people are going to lock in instantly. But yeah, man, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
I'm looking forward to seeing more from you.
Right on. Thanks.
Take care, man.
Bye now.